After witnessing one of the longest bull markets in history, millions of millennials and young investors are experiencing their first experience of a severe recession. This scenario frequently results in costly, rash financial decisions. It's a reasonable assumption that the coronavirus recession's aftershock will rival, if not exceed, that of the Great Recession. And for those who are new to handling a downturn, knowing which blunders to avoid is crucial. So we asked financial advisors, researchers, professors, and other specialists a simple question. What are some of the most common mistakes people make during difficult times, and how can they avoid them? After all, dealing with a downturn is difficult enough without adding to it by falling into classic spending, investing, and saving pitfalls. As you can see, the errors range in size from major to little and span a wide spectrum of activities and situations. Not everyone has the opportunity to make some of these errors. However, they should provoke thought as you make your way through the coming months. Ideally, avoiding any of these blunders will make your financial difficulties less unpleasant and your eventual recovery more solid. Let's get started. Refusing to draw on the emergency fund. Although having an emergency fund can help you get through difficult times, two categories of people fail to effectively use their resources. Let's look at the first category, which includes those who are enduring financial trouble and have chosen to live in discomfort rather than use their funds. This occurs when their saver's mentality, the same one that enabled them to accumulate an emergency fund, makes the emergency money sacrosanct and unusable. Viewing such funds as a reward for disciplined saving in good times is better to think about their utilization. Isn't that why you started saving in the first place? The second group of persons include those who have well-funded emergency funds but are not in financial distress. These individuals might consider investing a portion of their emergency funds at reduced stock market prices to improve their long-term financial situation during a recession. This also applies to retirees who have saved for at least 2 years' worth of living expenditures. No retirement funding. Panic about the market collapse is a common mistake made by investors of all ages who put off investing, especially periodic contributions to retirement plans. Before making any adjustments to your asset allocation or even withdrawing cash, examine your aim and investment approach, says Inga Timmerman, an associate professor of finance at California State University Northridge and owner of Attainable Wealth. There's no need to adjust your investment allocation in a retirement account that you can't touch until you're 60, Ms. Timmerman explains. If you decide to make your portfolio more conservative, make sure you have a precise plan for when you'll return, rather than a vague idea of when the market will begin to rebound, since it's impossible to predict. Of course, there are situations when you have no choice. Making early withdrawals from a retirement savings plan, on the other hand, is often one of the first things people do instead of one of the last. Early withdrawals have the disadvantage of robbing your future self of tax-deferred growth. The more you save, the more your savings grow over time because to compound interest. Even if the penalty for early 401k withdrawals is presently eliminated by the CARES Act, those pre-tax savings will still be taxed as profits the year they are withdrawn. Borrow money to invest in stocks. To ease public worries, money media personalities and personal finance specialists will promote the idea that a recession is a fire sale on stocks or an opportunity to buy cheap real estate. This idea holds some truth, but it's not a cause to take on too much debt. To try to profit from the down market, Nikki Dunn, CFP and founder of She Talks Finance, advocates taking out a home equity loan, high-interest personal loans, or cash advances from credit cards. Ms. Dunn warns clients that if the economy is in a slump, asset prices, including homes, may fall, and job security may be jeopardized. For individuals in a great financial situation, leveraged investing can make sense, Ms. Anastasio explains, but borrowing at 10% to 15% plus because you think you can double your money is highly inadvisable. Taking your credit score for granted. During a downturn, we make the error of not paying enough attention to our credit score. But this is what determines our mortgage and credit card interest rates, as well as our ability to obtain insurance and even rent an apartment. Even in difficult times, it is critical to strive to pay bills on time, avoid maxing out credit cards, avoid opening several new credit accounts in a short period, and maintain a positive financial history as much as possible. Maintaining our credit score can save us thousands of dollars in interest and fees over time. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Some people come up with a secret whenever there is a severe market downturn. They don't open their account statements or log on to their accounts. After all, they claim to intend to stay the course with their investments, so why put themselves through the misery of seeing their balances fall? While this coping mechanism may appear harmless, it is dangerous. If left ignored and allowed to fester, even minor concerns can have big effects. Keep an eye out for account notifications and updates and investments that require attention, erroneous transactions, and any suspicious activity. It's critical to keep a check on your funds, investments, and account security settings. a proclivity to overcorrect and make rash decisions. This overwhelming sense of the unknown is one of the most devastating aspects of the pandemic. Due to anxiety and fear, it's easy to overcorrect during an economic downturn or recession. Like driving on ice, overcorrecting can exacerbate a bad situation and create a new set of issues. Suppose you're worried about spending, for example. In that case, you can eliminate all unnecessary expenses from your budget and strive to save every cent. Still, you'll miss out on opportunities to increase your income by networking or upgrading your abilities. Jude Boudreau, a senior financial planner with the Planning Center, says that the most important piece of advice he gives individuals in uncertain times is to write down everything going on in their heads. Focus on aggressive debt repayment. Planners also advise against depleting or lowering your financial reserves to pay off debt more quickly than is necessary. In a downturn, it's best to keep to the bare minimum. Once you've paid off your debts, that money is gone. Keep your savings in case you lose your job and need them. However, if debts pile up and become burdensome, it is critical to seek assistance. This leads us to the next topic, choosing not to seek expert assistance. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they're in debt is not seeing a bankruptcy attorney, says Liz Weston, a financial advisor and columnist for NerdWallet. People keep trying to pay their bills long after they should have given up, or they try to settle debts that may be legally eliminated. Speaking with an attorney before filing for bankruptcy can help you emerge in the best possible shape. Before we move on to the last point, do like this video and subscribe to our channel if you gain some knowledge in this. Hanging on to the losers. With the goal of getting back to even, investors may hold on to losing positions. However, they frequently have no idea what that implies. To go back to even, a 20% decline necessitates a 25% rebound. A 33% decline necessitates a 50% rebound. And a 50% decline necessitates doubling the investment. If the possibilities for other investments are higher, it is preferable to reduce your losses promptly and reinvest the funds in more promising ventures. With this, we conclude today's video. Here's a pro tip for entrepreneurs. People are less likely to start a small business when the economy is bad. Even while starting a business during a downturn may seem paradoxical, a downturn might provide the ideal time to obtain lower-cost finance and equipment discounts. During recessions, for example, government initiatives such as the State Small Business Credit Initiative often grow to encourage entrepreneurs to start a small business. Because most recessions are brief, laying the groundwork during a slump can pay dividends fast after the economy recovers. While no two recessions are the same, it's important to remember that market downturns are an inevitable aspect of economic development. The Great Recession was followed by the world's longest bull market, which saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average reach new all-time highs. Even the most seasoned investors are likely to suffer some anxiety during a recession, but we must make financial decisions based on facts rather than emotions.